What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel, or it's first time here, welcome. So today we're gonna be doing a 5 best and 5 worst. If you're new here, if you're new to my channel, if you have no idea what a 5 best and 5 worst is, it's pretty self-explanatory. I basically talk about my 5 favorite and my 5 least favorite products from either a particular category or a specific brand. Today we're gonna be talking about Marc Jacobs Beauty, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it and find it helpful. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you have any products from Marc Jacobs that you love, and maybe some products that you don't love so much. I would love to get a conversation going down there. Of course, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy 5 best and 5 worst, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and also hit that bell button if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, I always get asked what my favorite makeup and beauty brand is, and when I think about it, I really feel like Marc Jacobs is definitely one of the top 3. Even putting this video together and trying to figure out 5 products that I just didn't love from the brand proved to be pretty difficult. I couldn't really think of products that I absolutely hated or really disliked. Marc Jacobs is sold at Sephora, and it's definitely on the higher end side. It's a little bit pricier than a lot of the other brands that are sold there. It's definitely more on the luxurious side, I would say. And with a higher price tag always comes higher expectations. So I think it's always that natural curiosity to see if these products are actually worth their price. So let's just start off on a positive note, and let's talk about the 5 products that I definitely think are worth their price tag and are really great from the brand. All right, so let's start off with probably my favorite product from the brand, and that is their EYE-CONIC eyeshadow palettes. If I completely lost my whole entire eyeshadow palette collection, one of the first eyeshadow palettes that I would rebuy would be this one from Marc Jacobs, the Scandalous. I think one of the main reasons why I really love these palettes is actually because of the color combinations. I really find that they are very unique and different and inspired. They're not your typical neutral eyeshadow palettes that we see over and over and over again. When you look at these eyeshadow palettes, they almost inspire you to create different looks because the color combinations are not really what you would typically see. And even though they're not what you would typically see, I still find them to be quite wearable. And they have so many different color combinations and almost color themes in their palette line. They have blues and purples and greens, and one of their new ones, which is one of my personal favorites, have these gorgeous rosy tones. When you see this, don't you just want to play with every single shade in here? And I'm actually wearing this one on my eyes today, in case you're wondering. The actual quality of the eyeshadows are out of this world. They're so good. They're extremely pigmented, almost pigmented to a fault. Sometimes they could be a little bit much, and you have to sort of watch out when you're applying it that you don't apply too much, because you could often get a stripe of color. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, but they are so easy to work with. They're easy to blend out. Even if you do apply too much, you could easily buff it out with. I need to swatch this gold shade from the editorial palette so you guys can see, because it is almost like liquid gold. It sort of speaks for itself. Do I have to say much more? So those are the EYE-CONIC eyeshadow palettes. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So next up, let's talk about some lip products. I actually have 2 different lip products that I'm including in my top 5. The first one are the glosses, which you guys probably could have guessed because I feel like I talk about these so much. These are definitely not underrated. A lot of people talk about these glosses, and for a really good reason. They are some of the best out there. They are definitely my personal favorite lip glosses. My mom, in case you're wondering, also loves these lip glosses. There's a specific shade, I completely forget the name of it, but she has rebought that freaking lip gloss, I think 20 times, and I'm not even exaggerating. Every single time she goes to Sephora and it's in stock, she picks up another one because she goes through it so quickly. For me, when I look for a lip gloss, I look for something that is semi-opaque, so opaque enough that I could wear it on its own, and then not too opaque that I could also layer it on top of a lip gloss. I also want something that's not sticky and that gives my lips a glass-like shine, and this lip gloss really does check all of those boxes. I do want to say that these do have a minty scent and sort of a minty sensation to them. They're not tingly, but they do have a slight cooling sensation. So if you're sensitive to scents or you just don't like minty flavors, you may want to stay away from these because these definitely do have that. Now, as far as my favorite shades, I personally don't really wear anything but a nude lip gloss. So my 3 favorite shades are 3 different shades of nude. So the first one that I have here is Sugar Sugar, and this actually became like super famous because of Jaclyn Hill. She spoke about this all the time. If you want something that's like not too light, not too dark, that really goes with all of your nude lipsticks, this is perfect. My second favorite is French Tickler. This is a little bit peachier, and I actually really love wearing this one on its own because it has a little bit more color to it than like Sugar Sugar, and I really love pairing this, of course, with more of like my coral lipsticks as well. Now, if you feel like Sugar Sugar is too light for you, or if you want something that's just a little bit darker, go for Pretty Thing. This is a really beautiful, more of like a neutral pink nude lip gloss. It's so nice. So today I really want to talk about the bullet lipsticks because I really feel like not enough people talk about these. They're a little bit underrated. I'm just not into matte lips anymore. I really like more of like a sheer lip formula lately, and I just like things that make the lips look super flattering and plump and just like juicy, and these lipsticks really do just that. The formula is like so creamy and hydrating, and because it's that like super hydrating creamy formula, it makes your lips look so nice. The lip that I'm wearing right now actually is this one right over here. It's Sonic Truth. It's one of my favorite pinky nudes. I just want to say though, because this is like a very, very creamy and hydrating formula, it sort of like will slip and slide on the lips a little bit, which is totally normal. But because of that, I don't really love the darker or brighter shades in the lipstick collection. I definitely do prefer the more muted or nude tones because they will just end up on your forehead by the end of the day or like 5 minutes into wearing them. That just always happens to me. So I would say that if you are looking for a lip color that's just like super easy to wear, especially for every day, to check out the Marc Jacobs lipstick lineup. And Marc Jacobs always kills it with the packaging. It's magnetic, and as I always say with magnetic packaging, it makes everything better. Next up, I want to talk about the eyeliners. Now, it's so funny because I was always the one to say that I would never buy eyeliners from a high-end brand just because I never thought that it was worth it, because there are so many great eyeliners that can be found at the drugstore that are like amazing. For example, the Rimmel ones are some of my personal favorites, but I was completely converted after trying out these Marc Jacobs ones, which honestly kill me just a little bit, but they are so good and really do like stand out, I feel like, from all the other eyeliners that I have in my collection. So these are called the Highliners. The 2 that I have here are the matte ones, but they also have more shimmery shades, which my mom actually has and uses all the time. She has this like blue one that's so beautiful. It has a little bit of sparkle in it, and she always puts it on her lower lash line if she wants a little bit of color. And the pigmentation is insane. Let me just show you. This one is called Fine Wine, and it's like such a pretty wine color, obviously, and just look how pigmented. These are like one swipe full pigmentation, so you don't have to like go back and forth time and time again to actually get some color to show up, which just ends up irritating your eye. These really just work so effortlessly. They also last so well. They last in the waterline like better than any other eyeliner that I have in my collection. They last on the upper lash line. They don't smudge. These 2 shades over here are my favorites. Fine Wine is the one that I just swatched, and then this one is probably my all-time favorite brown eyeliner. Oh my God. I just became a prepubescent boy for a second there. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Moving on. It is such a deep, rich brown. So nice. So would highly recommend checking these out if you're looking for just really great eyeliners. Doesn't this look completely like a little deodorant stick? So this is called the Spotlight Glow Stick. Now, I love cream highlighters because they are very natural looking. They're not as intense or metallic as a lot of powder highlighters can be. But what I love specifically about this cream highlighter is that even though it's pretty natural looking, it still gives you the most glossy and intense highlighted effect. So I'm actually gonna apply some on the tops of my cheekbones today because I'm wearing very little highlighter right now, and I really want you guys to get a good idea of what this stuff looks like. It also works really well on top of makeup. Sometimes cream highlighters will pick up the foundation that's underneath it because it's so sticky. This isn't overly sticky or like wet, so it will not disturb your makeup underneath. But do you see that glow that it just gave my skin? Like, is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. The color of this, by the way, is more of like a vanilla shade. I'm not sure if they have different shades in this stick. I really hope that they do. I mean, this isn't like a stark white highlighter. It's definitely more translucent, even though it looks pretty light in the stick. When you put it on your skin, there's no like white cast or anything. Anyways, that is my fifth and final favorite product from Marc Jacobs. Before I go into my 5 least favorite, I want to give an honorable mention to my favorite bronzer ever. The reason why this didn't make this into the top 5 is because this is a limited edition product, and I don't love talking about limited edition products because you guys can't get them obviously after a certain period of time. But they just re-released this in a brand new collection. It's huge. It's literally the size of my face. So this lasts you for such a long time. The color is like perfection. It blends so well on the skin. It works well to like shape the face, and it just gives the skin the most amazing sun-kissed glow. It's everything. So we are now done with my 5 all-time favorite products from Marc Jacobs. So now let's talk about the 5 products that aren't my favorites. So let's first start off with some brushes. Now, there's no doubting that these brushes are just gorgeous. I mean, when you see them in the display in Sephora, you can't help but admire their beauty. They're really expensive though. This powder brush, I believe, is like $98 Canadian or something like that. There are so many different brush options out there on the market. There are ones that are very affordable, like Morphe. There are ones that are like mid-tier, like Sigma. There's Smith brushes, which are my all-time favorite. There's Real Techniques, which are like drugstore, which are so good. And because there's so many great affordable brushes, it's really hard to justify spending $100 on one brush. I have one brush in my collection that's from HIGHLINERS that is incredible, and that's my most expensive brush that I think I have. And that brush I feel like is worth it because it's a bit more of like a unique shape. I don't have anything else like it in my collection. Like the price tag of that brush I feel like is a little bit more justified. This brush, for example, this is the bronze brush, is a very soft, big fluffy brush, but I feel like it's definitely not great for bronzer. Every time I try and bronze with this brush, it just creates like such a harsh bronzer line because it's such a densely packed brush and it's a little bit too tight for bronzer. This is really just to say that if you are looking at the Marc Jacobs brushes and you're looking to splurge, I just don't feel like these are worth spending your money on. Next up, we've got the Velvet Noir mascara. Now I have told the story of my experience with this mascara probably 4 times already on my channel, and I'm gonna say it one more time. So I'm so sorry if you've already heard this, but I just, you know, it's a classic Jamie Paige story. So I had tried this mascara for the first time, and I went to school, spent the whole entire day, was like with my friends, whatever, was in class. At the end of the day, a few hours later, I went into my car, flipped down my car mirror, and I had never seen such a horrific mascara smudging incident in my whole entire life. Like, I had mascara smudge from here to here, and I didn't have one friend tell me, hey Jamie, maybe look in the mirror, see what's going on underneath your eyes. Nothing. So that's just to say that this mascara smudges so badly on me, and there are so many mascaras out there that don't do that for me, that make my lashes look really awesome. So that's why this unfortunately is on my least favorite list. So next up I have the eyeshadow primer from Marc Jacobs. This is called the Undercover. When I first got this, I was using this before every single eyeshadow application, and my eyeshadow would not last throughout the day. It just wouldn't. And I couldn't figure out why, because I never had that problem before. And for some reason, I just didn't think that this had anything to do with it. But as soon as I switched my primer, that problem completely stopped. And that just told me that this primer really just didn't prime my eyes very well. Like, it didn't make my eyeshadow last at all, which sort of sucks because I actually really like the way this primer sat on my eye. It is like a slightly tinted product, so it did cancel out the redness and like discoloration that I had going on my eyes. If you are looking for a great eyeshadow primer, I would recommend honestly just using concealer. Next up, this is the Marc Jacobs Invisible Undercover Perfecting Coconut Face Primer. This is a product that I've actually used quite a bit. Like, this was a staple in my everyday collection for a really long time. And it's not to say that I hate this product, because I definitely don't. It's never done anything terrible to me. I just don't feel like this is a product that really does a ton for my makeup or for my skin. Like, I feel like applying a moisturizer really does the exact same thing as this product does for me. It's basically just supposed to be a hydrating primer, and I don't find this to be exceptionally hydrating to the point where I'm able to like skip my moisturizer and just use this. And it's like the type of product that I don't love, but I also don't hate. I'm sort of just meh about it. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to repurchase it, but I will use it until I'm finished the product so that I don't waste it, because it does like slightly hydrate my skin, but nothing like spectacular. So I just realized that I had a black dot underneath my eye this whole entire time, so. All right, so the very last product that I want to talk about is one that I actually do not have here with me because I got rid of it a very, very long time ago, and that is the Remarkable foundation, I think it's called. It's the original foundation that they came out with. I have not yet tried the Shameless foundation, so I can't speak on that, but the Remarkable foundation was just such a disaster for my skin. I have very dry skin, if you did not know that already, and that foundation is so full coverage. And every time I try a foundation that's like super, super full coverage, is always a little bit tricky with my skin type, just because it will often like accentuate and just sit on my dry patches in the worst way possible, and that's what that foundation did to me. So for me personally, that foundation is definitely one of my least favorites from the brand. That may not be the case for some of you, because if you have oily skin type, you may have the exact opposite experience as I did. So that actually finishes off today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know some MARC JACOBS products that you love, some that maybe just didn't work so well for you. Of course, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. So that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.